All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakadash, double honors to my elders, my apostles, a great millstone, I'm sure the men that rule well, the men that taught us his truth, peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect, all right? And Lord's will, the title will be Endurance slash Patience, all right, which is sort of like a follow-up to the video I had did yesterday about, keeping a positive mindset, but this is more of you know, not going too deep into the mental aspect of it, but more so, the exhortation on the fact that, or the encouragement on the fact that, we're gonna go through things, but our job is to have a positive mindset on it because that's what we're commanded to do. That's why that's why scriptures like First Corinthians 10 and 13, exist to tell us that, and not just that, but also the exhortations from the apostles, all right, to continue in the faith, especially with Apostle Paul. He, always said that, continue continue in the faith because, we're uh like it says in Second Esdras, we're appointed to, our lot is to go through the danger set before us to get to the kingdom. So, we're in a situation right now where we have to go through danger to get to the kingdom of heaven. There's no easy ride to the kingdom for anybody. The scriptures literally say, that the righteous shall suffer straight things and see the wide, meaning see the end of the road and receive the kingdom. And it also says that the wicked will see the straight but will not see the wide. They'll have to know it after death by pain. So us that's in the know, we have to remember that, uh, to think it not strange, like the scriptures say. And I'm quoting quite a few that I didn't, bring in the list of scriptures that I wanted to grab, just because I don't want to over expound and just be repetitive. I just wanted to bring out these precepts that, stood out to me, when I was, meditating on this lesson, endurance and patience, because they're pretty similar. The word endurance and the word patience, they're pretty similar. Um, they're, I guess you can call them synonyms. All right. But what inspired this was reading Luke 21 and 19, which, is very similar to what's in Matthew's 24, where Yahweh Shai said, "He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved." It's like the same thing being said here. All right, because this is a thing of endurance, and it is a thing of being a soldier and rolling with the punches, and regardless of what happens, still keeping an optimistic mindset on salvation. Because that's true comfort at the end of the day. The comfort in all the hell that you're catching is that at the very end of the road is salvation. All right, so it says Luke 21 and 19, in your patience possess ye your souls. Oh, Salakia. So in your sufferings, through if you endure, all right, you will win. You will win at the end. All right, if you endure through every single situation, man. Okay, that means that whatever trial is set before you, you have to, have the patience, all right, to go through it. All right, and patience means to suffer. All right, and when you suffer through something, man, what do you get? You get the prize at the end. In this truth only, really. Like the same way how, for brothers that work out, for you to get the gains, you got to have that suffering of tearing down the muscle, and then what? You get the gains at the end. You don't get them right away. You get them after trial and time and time after doing the exercise and things like that. And the truth is the same thing, man. We're gonna go through trial after trial after trial until we're on a chariot in a new abode, all right, in a new body. Okay. Second Corinthians 4 and 7. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels. Talking about this truth. All right. We have the 100% truth and these earthen vessels. We say that in humility. All right. Truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. This whole chapter is, pretty much talking about that, so I would read it on my free time. I read it right before I started recording, you know. And what we have this treasure in earthen vessels, which is, it's a heavy thing, man. This knowledge, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's a high level wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, and we have it in flesh that corrupts, that dies away, right? But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not of us, right? Because all glory goes to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and not us, because we're not boasting, Or we boast in the Lord, not in ourselves, right? Now, here's the point. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. And that's what it feels like. You receiving trouble from every single side, man. Like, it's like, damn, I'm catching hell financially. Satan's messing with me, my woman, my kids, this, the job. You know what I'm saying? You might be even something in the camp might be going on that's stressing you out. But what? We're not distressed. We're troubled on every side. All right? We are perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted but not forsaken, cast down but not destroyed. Right. So it's being, when you read, the negativity, it's combated with positivity. Okay. Matter of fact, you know, that's the spirit. I just remembered a scripture that the elder Monagon here brings out. Whenever we talk about balance, because that's the thing, man. Another big thing, I might make a video on that next, Lord willing, is having a healthy balance. It's not all about reading articles of evil things happening. Sometimes you got to bring out, something beautiful in the spirit, man. Something spiritual that you saw or something like that, right? Because that's the only way to continue on in this faith, man. All right, learn how to counteract the evil so that you can endure. All right, because if all you're doing is consuming negativity, 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 you're gonna burn yourself out and not be able to endure. All right, you won't, you're gonna run out of patience. You won't be able to suffer no more because you tapped yourself out, right? So let me read this. Romans 12 and 21. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Right? And that's exactly what I'm reading right here in Second Corinthians 4 and 8, you know, because no matter how much trouble, how much vexation our spirit receives, all right, we're still not forsaken at the end of the day. you know that which leads me to my next scripture in Romans 8. But just to harp on the point, man, that like it says, persecuted but not forsaken, right? Because we're gonna go through even more things in the near future, but at the very end we're not forsaken. At the very end, Yahweh Bashmi Shai still has our back. He's still gonna establish us, strengthen us, okay, and keep us in the faith, man, keep us in the truth. All right. That's something that I pray, in the mornings when I wake up. Maybe I'll be on my way to work. I'll say, how about Shmi, how shy, Shamarnia ba Mathka, or keep me in thy truth. And then I say Shamarnia ba Amawanka, which means keep me in faith thy, or thy faith, because at the end of the day, it's an endurance thing. That's why I titled it Endurance slash Patience. All right. Because the point of this race is to make it to the end. It's an endurance race. It's not a sprint. It's not about gassing out. It's not about how quick you can get there. It's about, can you last till the very end? All right. Cast down, but not destroyed. Right. Exactly, man. Hey, as men of the Lord, man, you're going to have more lows and highs. And at the end of the day, man, whatever it is that you got to go through in your daily life, man, just believe in Yahweh Bashim, how shine, and go through it. And it's easier said than done, obviously, but you learn how to roll with the punches, especially if you're, might be 6 months in or a year in, you kind of still struggling a little bit. You'll get used to it, man. You'll learn how to catch hell and still get the job done. You know, because at the end of the day, uh, we're appointed to those things, man. We're appointed to go through things. We're appointed to go through the furnace of adversity. But before I read that, if you already know about Sirach 2, I'm gonna read Romans 8. Romans 8:36, as it is written, which is quoted from Psalms, right? For thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Right? Yeah, we're killed all the day long, man. We're suffering here in America. I know the elder brings out, um, the elder Yashawamba, he brought out the scripture in one lesson. It's in Daniel's, where it speaks about wearing out the saints. And he went into how, when you go into that, it means to constantly harass. And that's exactly what we have, what we go through here in America, you know? But like the other elder Ariala said, man, don't allow, don't make it easy for Esau to wear you down. Which means, because Esau gonna give you hell. He has the fatness of the earth, and now he's in charge. But you can still overcome these things, man. Whatever it is that you go through in your daily life, there are things that are within your control, and the things that are out of your control, give it to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. There's no reason for us to not call upon the Lord. Like, you don't have a reason to not pray. You know, I don't want to. You don't. I don't want to ever. you know, think about the fact that like, oh, all right, I don't got enough time to pray, brother. Like that's impossible. All right, we always got time to pray. We always got time to send our supplications to the Lord, and that's what we ought to be doing. Okay? Counteract, hey, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. All right. So we are counted as sheep for the slaughter, nay, or no, or not no, but nay, right? In all these things, we are more than conquerors through him that loved us, right? Because when you read up, it goes into, and when you read down, it goes into many different things. All right. Because what at that time, the believers were going through hell, man. All right. They were going through it. All right. Those that believed, were catching hell. Because when the doctrine was being preached back then, it wasn't like today where we have freedom of speech here in America and things like that. Back then, people were getting stoned and people weren't afraid to do it because people weren't really getting prosecuted like that for stoning people. All they would say, hey, we just stoned some crazy guys. They were talking about destroying Rome. You know what I mean? You don't think they got away with those things. There wasn't no CCTV back then. All right. If the whole crowd was with it, shit, no one said nothing, they got away with it you know? So how much more now in these times? Even though in these times, there will be persecution on the believers, but what? We're going to be conquerors through everything, no matter what. All right? Through the little hell that we catch now and the things that are soon to come, the hell that's to come later. All right? Sirach 2 and 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And that whatsoever, yes, it's literal, man. There's nothing that you're going to go through in this truth that's strange. There's nothing that you're going to go through in this truth that's abnormal or no one has ever gone through. Everything that we go through in this thing, a brother has either gone through it, all right, or you're gonna get through it and help another brother get through it. All right. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. All right. And that's not literal, you're not gonna actually be cheerful. All right. But in a way, hold your head high, you know, in humility to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, of course. Right? Take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Right? So there goes that word patience. Suffer when you go through when you're changed to a lower state. Let's say, you know, a quick example. Let's say you lose your job and now you're working at a job that's, not as nice as your last job, or you're making less money. All right. Hey, be patient in that, because in due season the Lord gonna lift you up. He gonna put you in a better job where you're making even more money and doing less work. It's happened to me before. I've definitely been through that a few times, man. All right. And what I did was, as upset as I was in that situation, in that moment, I just realized, you know what? At the end of the day, I can still pick up my Bible and read it, and I can still call upon Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So why stress? Yeah, I might, lose a few comforts for a little bit, but why pout and cry about it? Don't bug out about it. Pray to the Lord. Sure enough, with the praying and calling upon Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, I was uplifted. All right, by the Lord. Okay, that's the mindset and mentality we ought to have. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Okay, that's a powerful precept, man. Just thinking about it, man. Verse 2, I mean, Salakia, verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right. And that's exactly what we are, man. Lord's will, we are of the elect, we're of that gold, man. All right. And we're gonna be we have to go through the fire. That's the thing. The fire, no one ever said, hey, because we're supposed to keep a smile through it. That was the whole point of the lesson I made yesterday. It's not that we're not gonna go through hell. It's that we're gonna go through it. So you might as well keep a smile through it, man. All right. You might as well put a smile on your face about it because we're gonna go through it anyway. All right. Gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So the furnace of adversity. Adversity means something's against you. So, all right. Something is coming up against you. So we have to go through that furnace of things that's coming up against us. Could be your job, someone at your job. All right. Could be a woman. It could be your children causing you hell. You know, anything, whatever. It could be an ailment. It could be Satan. Satan messing with your head. You know, making you feel some type of way, making you feel fear, anxiety, panics. All right, worrying, stressing about financially, things like that. That what we have to go through that furnace. All right, now what did the scripture say? Believe in him. So through that, right, through the furnace of adversity, what? Believe in him, and he will help thee Order thy way aright and trust in him. That's overcoming the evil with good. So when you're in that adversity, what are you commanded to do? Because it's a commandment, man. Everything, bro. The whole scripture, bro, is a commandment. So what are you commanded to do when you go through the furnace of adversity? Right? What are you supposed to do when you're changed to a lower state? Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order that way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Right. So if you endure to the very end, your reward will not fail. You will receive the kingdom of heaven. As it is written. What does scripture say? That the Most High is not unrighteous, that he will forget your works and labor of love that you have showed towards his name and to the saints. If we endure to the end. All right. The Lord won't forget your righteousness if you believe to the very end. Okay. It says, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Here's the point. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. So we're commanded to think positively. We're commanded to endure and have patience. We're commanded to what? Hope for good and everlasting joy and mercy. All right? And that's the mindset, man. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. I should have made that the scripture of the day, man, for real. I bet, hey, it's a spirit. I just remembered it now, you know? And what? And that's what we're going to do, man. We're going to overcome evil with good. All right? Because at the end of the day, we was commanded to endure. All right? Which endure means to be made hard, to harden, to be hardened. Okay? We're commanded to endure and to be patient, to suffer through it. All right? We was not told we wasn't going to catch hell. The scripture says, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of the Most High. All right? So keep enduring. All right? Pray for more patience. All right? As things heat up in America and all over the earth, especially, in America, man. Things is moving fast, man. We don't got much time left here, man. We just gotta keep believing, keep enduring, keep praying, keep fasting, man. Believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's exactly what we're gonna do. All right. But hey, that's all I wanted to bring out to the Spirit, man. I really hope this was exhorting unto you. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Hakadash. Double honors unto my elders and my apostles, the great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us this truth, man. Peace, blessings, and salutations. As always, be to the elect. Shalom.